Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. So it's going to be really warming up as we progress into this upcoming working week, with temperatures rising well into the 20s by the middle of the week, and could even get to the high 20s come Thursday, maybe even Friday, as well as we do see a big push of hot air arrive from the south. Unfortunately, it only is lasting a couple of days, so it's not able to impact us as much as if it had hung around for a number of more days. But regardless, it's still going to be very humid and going to feel a lot warmer than it has been recently. We'll check out the GFS, GM, Eastern WF and the Ensembles after having a look at what they do have for the next few weeks. Again, seeing what they're showing for the top temperature as we do progress to the latter part of this next upcoming working week, and whether we have any proper dry weather on the horizon. So you remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So to start on the live radar, you can see it is a much quieter day compared to yesterday. We saw Storm Antony move through, and you can see across parts of Europe now, heading into Eastern Europe, we've got the remnants of Storm Antony. Again, it's a much larger area of low pressure now, with multiple areas of thunderstorms and weather fronts associated with it. But this is the remnants of the low pressure that was Storm Antony that moved through, and we now just have a few showers from a northerly wind coming in. Showers heaviest through Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and we've got a few little convergence areas through parts of the West Midlands, parts of Wales, towards Scotland as well, where showers are not in a distinct line, but they are generally lining up along those convergence zones, coming roughly in from the north or northwest. Most of these showers pretty light today, a few heavier pulses within it, but we're not expecting any thunderstorm activity at all within it. Most areas will actually be really quite pleasant today, and the temperatures will be a lot higher than yesterday, maybe touching into the low 20s at best, but the air mass isn't particularly warm, so it'll really only be getting up into the 20s where we do have some strong sunshine. Now, if you put on the temperatures just after 1 p.m, you can see how we have got some warm weather, but you can see it's off either side of the convergence zone through West Midlands there, up towards East Midlands, up towards central southern England, seeing some warmer temperatures. Again, probably still only just about getting towards average or even below average, hitting maybe the 20 or 21 degree mark, but it's a lot better than what it was yesterday, where we did see a lot of heavy rain around, and we're seeing this quite widely across the country. Now, if you have a look at those past 24-hour precipitation, we'll be able to see how much rainfall fell in quite a few areas yesterday. Now, again, it is only the last 24 hours, so much of the rainfall that fell over Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland and western areas in the initial weather front through yesterday morning of Storm Antony has now dissipated, but you can see where we did have the thunderstorm warning in eastern areas and southern areas, we did see a line of very heavy thundery showers towards the M4 line southwards, towards the South London area, between sort of Swindon, Reading, and towards Kent, and also towards Essex and East Anglia, saw some very heavy rainfall there. So you see how localised the system, those thunderstorms were. Some areas getting a lot of rain in a short space of time. You can see even heavier rain spreading up towards Belgium and the Netherlands there. Now, if we do go over to the UKV, we'll be able to see what is going to be happening over the next few days, with particular interest on potentially for some much warmer weather as we head into the middle of this upcoming working week. Now, can see a few showers today on that convergence zone, but they should dissipate through this evening. As we head into Monday, could be a few showers around once again, but really nothing too bad. Weather front trying to spread in from the southwest, but weakening as it does, so maybe only giving some moderate rainfall for southern parts of the Republic of Ireland. As we head through into Tuesday morning, the remnants of that weather front will give some patchy rainfall, some heavier pulses here or there through Tuesday morning, but by Tuesday afternoon dissipating away, and we could see a few heavier showers break out behind it, but mostly dry conditions, just unfortunately a lot of clouds still trapped from remnants of that weather front. Into Wednesday, things are starting to warm up. The southerly wind is starting to arrive, and you can see a bit of a humid, cloudy, hazy look there as that hotter air mass moves in, and the temperatures will peak likely on Thursday, and you can see that generally there will be a lot of sunshine around, but equally quite a bit of cloud as well, which may just about hold those temperatures back. So when we have a look at those temperatures in a minute, it could oscillate slightly up and down depending on cloud amounts. And finally, as we head into Friday, there could just about be some warm weather in the east, but all dependent on this colder front sweeping in, the line of cloud, rain, and potentially thunderstorms associated with how quickly that moves through, which is uncertain. It's still a 5-day time frame. If you look at the upper air temperatures, you can see it peaking around the Wednesday to Thursday point. Really quite hot air mass, maybe getting up towards 17 or 18 degrees at 850 HPA, but not seeing that 20 degrees that was hinted at a couple of days ago, or even yesterday on some of the runs. Most likely widely around the 15 degree mark we're expecting for between Wednesday and Thursday. So again, hot enough to give 30 degrees if it was hanging around for more than a day or two. If this was here for 3 or 4 days, we would be looking at 30 degrees. But most likely, mid to high 20s will be the top temperature associated with this before getting swept away by that cold front through Friday. If you look at the max temperatures today, like I said, looking at maybe just about touching 20, 21 degrees in the sunshine, cooler elsewhere. If we look into Monday, temperatures look rising slightly higher, maybe more widely, 19 to 21. Worse in the south and the west, where we do have some rain moving in. Into Tuesday, again, where we avoid the cloud and rain, could get to 20, 21. But Wednesday, things starting to really climb, maybe 23 or 24, or at least into the low 20s quite widely. And again, that doesn't sound particularly high, but it's a lot higher than it's been recently, and it's going to feel a lot warmer because of the humid air mass. We'll have a look at those dew points in a minute, and you'll be seeing their very high dew points, indicating it's going to be quite a muggy feel out there. So yes, 23, 24 doesn't sound that bad, but if you do any exercise, hang around in it for longer periods of time, it is going to feel pretty oppressive. But those temperatures rise even further. Overnight into Thursday, we don't see those temperatures drop away all too much, widely 15 to 18 degrees. Again, really quite muggy. That's been the high temperatures of some of the days recently. And finally into Thursday, we're looking at widely mid to high 20s, maybe peaking 27, 26, 27, 28. Again, UKV on the lower end of that sort of scale of mid to high 20s, simply because it's got more cloud, but other runs, as we'll see, the GFS in a minute, is showing a 29. So anywhere around that sort of 26 to 29 degree point is most likely to be the top temperature. And again, doesn't sound ridiculous, but with the humidity, it will feel really quite warm out there, and eventually those temperatures will get swept away from the west. Now, if we look at those dew points, you can see as we head into Wednesday, dew points rising into the mid to maybe high teens by Wednesday evening, and into Thursday, looking widely still at those mid-teens point. Again, some briefly drier patches of air here or there, but the overall package is going to be pretty high dew points, feeling very muggy. So do now have a look at the GFS and see what that is doing over the course of the next couple of weeks. Again, you can see the southerly wind arriving towards Wednesday, holding on into Thursday, but the low pressure out in the Atlantic is a little bit stronger than we anticipated a couple of days ago, indicating that this hotter plume will only last maybe 48 to 72 hours. Eventually, the westerly winds pull through, the low pressure does weaken as it does, so it shouldn't be too intense, and then eventually we still go into another pattern, perhaps of southerly winds. And again, we'll have to keep an eye on this in the longer term. As we'll see in the ensembles in a minute, there is a lot of uncertainty exactly how these low pressures evolve as the pattern is changing. Yes, we're not seeing huge high pressure systems build in, but the lows are rattling through like they have been recently. A low pressure towards the end of this run dives to our south. Again, that could be quite a thundery pattern and does pull up from very hot air to our east. Again, not directly impacting us, but a change in the status quo that we have had recently. So we've got to keep an eye on this, as things are very fluid and could change quite rapidly. You can see, though, the upper air temperatures towards the end of this week really quite hot. And if we put on the 2 meter temperatures for Thursday, which is looking likely to be the peak day, you can see widely 27 to 28, or maybe even a 29 there, up towards Yorkshire. So a very warm or hot day, and again, would feel very muggy with the dew points. We put the dew points on here. Look at that. Widely dew points in the mid to high teens, so it's going to feel really quite oppressive. If you look at the GM, again, southerly wind coming in by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time. Low pressure does transition through, but again, pretty weak as it does. And then could see another southerly wind as we head towards day 10. Uncertainty how quickly that moves in, but regardless, could pull up another quite warm air mass from the south at this point. And again, if we do run back to Thursday, we'll be able to see that it is going to be a pretty warm day. Again, widely 25, 26 degrees. Again, could top out maybe 27 or 28. So again, on the lower end compared to the GFS, so quite similar to the UKV. Again, probably due to the cloud amounts. But regardless, if you look at the 2 meter dew points, look at that, incredibly high across much of the country, indicating that it's going to feel really, really muggy out there. If we look at the ECMWF, again, southerly winds pulling in, hot air mass. The low pressure eventually moves through, but actually goes through very slowly through the weekend. That could prolong shower activity. Unfortunately, for day 10, we're sort of in between systems, and we've got really hot air just to our southeast, just skirting us. So again, that could make some inroads. The important thing here is between that day 7 to day 10 point, or even the day 14 point for the GFS, there is no distinct scenario we're looking at. The models haven't really decided exactly how the low pressure next weekend will move through. So at this stage, we can't say whether hot air will return or whether we'll see cooler air. Definitely looks like it will go cooler as that low moves through, which will inevitably happen. But what evolves after that is yet to be determined. And again, similar to the other runs, if we go back to the 2 meter temperatures, and have a look at those temperatures as we head into Thursday. Again, peaking widely in the mid to maybe high 20s here, and again, very warm and very muggy. Finally, if we look at the ensembles, you can see the latest ensembles indicating a big spike in upper air temperatures towards the end of next week. Not quite as high as it was showing a couple of days ago. Some runs going up towards 20 degrees, but most likely looking at 15 to 17 degrees here for a big drop off of over 10 degrees at 850 HPA by next weekend. After that, rising towards average, and we really have no idea what's going to be happening for around the 13th, 14th onwards. Most numbers are in and around average, some go very warm, not too many go particularly cool. Precipitation is moderate, nothing very high, nothing very low either. The operation run goes extremely high precipitation here, but once again, it is one run. So yeah, not got really a clue exactly what will happen after the 13th. All depends on the transition of that low in this period where the cooler air mass moves in with it. Once that is resolved, then we'll be able to have a look at the longer term in more detail. But at this stage, as you saw from those operational runs, there really isn't too much of a consensus what will happen. You see the 2 meter temperatures peaking, as you see here Thursday, ensembles mostly around the 25 to 27 degree mark. Again, locally could be a couple of degrees higher, and the dew points are quite high as well. Look at that, widely around the 15 degree points. So it's going to feel extremely muggy. So I must reiterate that even though those temperatures at the surface don't feel that bad, don't sound that bad, it is going to feel very muggy, very humid out there, very oppressive. Finally, the ECM WF ensembles, similar, spiked around the 15 plus degree mark, drop off, and then uncertainty is longer term. Quite similar to the GFS, more on the side of average to above average, with of course some very warm runs appearing. Precipitation is a lot higher, but there is around 50, there's 20 more ensemble members here, so we're always going to expect higher precipitation spikes. So we have, as I said, there isn't that much of a consensus in the longer term, but it isn't looking like it's going to go doom and gloom again. It is looking generally on the up. We just don't know exactly how it will evolve. But regardless, got some warm weather coming up the rest of this week, and even the days leading up to it, they're not going to be particularly warm, but we're not looking at any major washout conditions again, which is a big positive. And hopefully, as we head towards the end of this week, we'll have some great days Wednesday through Thursday, and hopefully that weather front can hold off on Friday to make 3 relatively warm, muggy, summery days towards the second half of this working week. Hopefully we do see that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.